6 days of pure magic, Human Design Rave Festival 2024.
Hello, hello. Welcome to the Human Design Rave Festival 2024. I am so happy to present to you Oleksandr Vasin. Hi.
Hi, Veronica. Hi, everybody.
So, Alex, it's so glad to actually have you online. It would be even better to have you live, but it is what it is. So, we want to present you to the public and to the visitors of the Human Design Fest. And it's like I find you so interesting, and also part of our mission with the festival is to really make a bridge between the original Raoruhu frequency and the first wave of teachers and their students, and then the people who are really living it and being radical about it. And you're really radical about your experiments, and we want just to show the real normal people living human design all around the world, and um, in a way, make a worldwide bridge between all of us, because it's so funny and interesting and inspiring, especially now that we have been doing so many interviews with Julia Krakova, with different lecturers from all around the world, living human design and teaching human design. And it's amazing because this knowledge, and we were just talking prior to the interview with you, you can feel so alone in it. Your friends usually are not in this knowledge, and festivals like these are a chance that us, the lone wolves, meet and exchange, share. It's, isn't it like, yeah, it's an individual process, but sharing with somebody who sees from the viewpoint of the passenger such a different view than you, because we're so different. And to share, this is so enriching our own experience, our own observer window view, to see through somebody else's window, at least through his perspective. Yeah. So would you allow us to look through your window and your individual human design perspective? You're a 2-4, you don't want that, but
if it if it only could be possible, you know, this is the magic and melancholy of living this knowledge. You cannot share your experience. You cannot share it. It is so deep and individual and multi-layered that some of it you can put into words, and some of these words maybe will come out if someday someone will ask. So excuse me, guys, but it's impossible to look through my lens, through my eyes, but I can share some of it, some of it, only that is possible to share. And I want to say that I am in awe about the things you are doing, Veronica. I know that it sounds like, yeah, I'm I'm just being me. Yes, it's like Ross said, that people told me, "Oh, you're so great, you're doing so much work." So, and he said, "What? Who? Who are you talking to? I'm just observing all this, you know." But anyway, whatever perspective you have on that, I think that this intent to share these jewels of individual experiment, of individual experience, it's an amazing work. I think that if you are able to do this and you resonate with it and you respond to it and it happens, it's just great, because it is hard to find some way to have this other perspective and other perspective, some outer authority, you know, and even not outer authority, which is actually maybe only after 50 and only for some 4% of 4%, but some jewels of just individual awareness that has some part differentiated, you know, for at least for some part. Because for me, it's enormously empowering. I wanted to quit Facebook a couple of years ago, at least for a month. And I quit Facebook. But in an hour, I think, well, last time I will just check. And I checked and I saw some spontaneous video of the reflectors, Yev. And I listened to it for an hour. And it was this awareness jewel for me, you know? So I don't quit it because it is another way that I can reach some of these jewels. But I need to restrict it, you know, because open head can be, yeah, it can be too much. But I want, without any, really honestly, say thank you, Veronica, that you do your job. Because the people that can reach these, all of us, you know, that can reach all of these different perspectives, they are getting something priceless. So at first I want to thank you. And then I was listening to you and it was funny when you said, yeah, we want just to invite normal people who live their design. And it was like, what? And people who live their design are total freaks. They are not normal at all, you know? And yes, I understand what you meant. You meant something different. You meant that people for whom their individual surrender to their nature became an day-to-day life. Yes. And actually, Raoul also told that, yeah, mystical way, you know, the ones that know what mystical way is, they know that it is so mundane. It is so, the awareness should be normal. It could be, and well, intended to be that aware beings are just like, it is normal to have the differentiated awareness, but we are far from it. And you said that I'm radical in my experiment. Well, I maybe didn't tell you how much fool I am in my everyday, day-to-day life, you know, in the way I deal with people, with my daughter, with my dog, with you know. So it is, yeah, my mind thinks, oh yes, I want to go radical. But it may happen only when the moment came, you know. I can go more radical only when I'm ready, you know. Before that, so it is like helpless process. Like last year when we had this kind of lecture about parenting and da-da-da, I came up, well, I came up. It was an insight, you know, two words combined. And I love these two words so much. Helpless responsibility, you know? It's kind of opposite things that can't be together, you know, like wet fire, you know?
Yeah.
But it is. I am a father, you know? It is my responsibility, but it is helpless responsibility. I can do only what I can, you know? So it how much it is radical I don't know. I'm a second line personality. I'm very unaware of a lot of things in my process. So yeah.
But you
It
know,
it is it it is a pleasure to be here.
it's a pleasure to have you, and thank you for accepting our invite. And when we talk radical, of course, what's radical? For different people, it will be different things, probably. But being in the experiment, and for a lot of people, at some point, it's just not an experiment anymore. It's just being you. But getting into the experiment at all is something radical, because imagine we were talking yesterday with one of our speakers. She's a Bulgarian teacher and she's a psychologist. And when she met human design, and she was like, uh, yeah, next, and then by accident, she decided to try it when ordering food in the restaurant. And then she ordered something that her mind completely was like, are you crazy? And she thought, let me try this new thing I heard. And then it was the best soup she had in her life. So and then she's a psychologist. Like, she has certain ways, she had certain studies how to approach. And as a new psychologist, you're probably experimenting, but you being careful to stay within the boundaries so you don't do something, it's serious business. And then she tries this, and it changes her entire perspective on life. So only trying the experiment is in a way a radical thing that normal people don't do, or at least people who are not open-minded in a way to try something new. So it's and staying with it, because only trying it, okay, you can taste different things, but staying with it, that talks about being radical in a way.
Yeah, and it's definitely for good, for bad, for happy, for sad, it's definitely a trajectory and I don't know, luck, predisposition, lucky stars, and or some life cycle that brings you some kind of door, little door. Because for me, it was almost in 1 month. I had my reading, and in a month I had my Saturn return, So it was already change, huge change in my life, in my everything, A lot of things happened. The war in my country started. My father died this year. My partner said, I will live with you in one house, and she just left her parents, and I was shocked, And it started to be very, very different, and I saw in my process through all the stages of discoveries, as a generator, I saw that with these circumstances, and especially with this partner, for me, it's, either awareness or death, because it is very deep challenge. And only through years, sometimes I get some priceless things from her. Like after 4 or 5 years in the experiment and in the relationships, she says, well, actually, thank you that we don't sleep together. Now I see. Now I see that this is madness to sleep together. But it was kind of almost fights in the beginning, Well, you don't love me, we don't sleep together, But then she says, actually, thank you. Because it's really so. And yesterday, it was kind of like these moments, because I was almost in tears when I heard that. Our daughter asks her, Mama, could you please give me a piece of cake? And the cake is with apples. And the daughter asks, could you please give me without apples? Just the piece of this cake. So separate them and give it to me. And she's like, okay, okay. And she gives it to her and she eats and it's all okay. And Daria turns to me and says, well, actually, thank you for me understanding why she is like this, why she wants one thing at a time. Not only she wants, but it's actually good for me to understand that it's okay. It's not a matter of some wrong taste or something else, you know. So my partner is one of my greatest teachers, the experiential teachers, you know. So she's very, very, very slow and third line, anarchistic, believes nothing, rejects everything, you know. And today I told her actually that, well, Veronica have written that maybe we can interview three of you, you know, together. Because you are like three and you are both in the experiment. She said, whoa, 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 whoa. You know, I'm not in the experiment. Don't label me with this. You know, I'm not in the experiment. I just from time to time come to you and say, oh, you know, she's a therapist, psychology, you know, and she comes and says, can we look at the body graph of one of my clients, because she seems like she's a projector. Da 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 da. Feels like da da da. And then we look and then we see, oh, she's a triple split projector like you, da da da. And you know, just in these little things, but in all other stuff. Yeah.
But actually, your story is interesting because it was your partner who brought you to human design, wasn't it?
Yes, and it was this amazing phenomenon of the third line. You know, third line is not here to bring some alternative. Third line is here only to take the floor from your legs, you know. You know, just to come to you to say you're standing on the complete bullshit. You know, it is bullshit. This is not true. And you're like, wait, really, really, wow, it's bullshit. My foundation is bullshit. I'm a, you know, I don't know, Catholic Church fanatic or something else, you know.
Yes.
My foundation is bullshit, but my dear, please give me some alternative because I need to stand on something. And she says, oh, no, 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 no. This is not my job. So she just kicked the floor from under my legs, but hasn't given anything to stand here. So I was like, yeah, maybe this is kind of enlightenment because I know nothing and I feel completely lost. You know. So and then the experiment started, and I saw that I don't need a teacher. I don't need, my experience is a teacher. I don't need the guru. My experience, my sacral is a guru. My body is a guru. And also I started to see that people that was my kind of role models, ideal people that I want to be alike, you know, some iconic. In some other nuances, they are so foolish. They are so helplessly foolish in some other nuances of their life, you know. And I thought, well, maybe it is okay that I am not that bright as them in their nuances, but I'm bright in my nuances, you know? So I through my experiment, I saw that everybody is foolish in some stuff, very, very foolish. And everybody is bright in some stuff. And it's just unique. Yeah.
So, what has changed for you with meeting human design?
Yeah, first and very powerful thing, very simple thing, was that I realized that I have a right to say no. And it was like, it was actually the most simple, but the most practical and radical changer, you know? Because when you are 2-4 and you are not in your experiment, you're just, yeah, I don't know, in my case, very unaware and socially lost, mixed with your friends, and kind of you don't have your identity. You're just kind of you are mixed with friends. You're very, very influenced by them, and you have their habits, you have their perspectives, you have their religion, you have their everything, and you don't know anything about yourself, you know. But this first thing, and I guess it was very empowering for me in a sense that I have this channel of initiation. Yes, I would like to uh, avoid all the unnecessary confrontation, yes, but I want to stop lying. I see, just for myself, just inside of my own bubble, you know, my psychic bubble, in which I see things clearly, and I see when I lie. I lie and I see it. And I was not so aware of every lies that I tell to myself and to others. And not only tell, but behavior and da-da-da and everything. But now I have a lens to see when and where and how I lie. And it is so, well, challenging to see. And you see it and you realize, I don't want this. It is possible for me to not lie, to not behave as not as myself, but as something else, someone else, you know, to not speak about things that I find ridiculous and pointless, you know, which I would speak about 24/7 if I didn't know myself, you know, because I have 3 bridges in the throat. My throat is under enormous pressure. I have so much stuff to say, significant and insignificant, timely, untimely, you know, this pressure to initiate unnecessary communication. It's just mind-blowing. And this was the thing when I saw that every day I constantly lie. And it's not like it is some dramatic, critical lie, you know? So in result, some people die or something else. No, it's just my unique identity doesn't breathe. It doesn't move as it's born to move, you know? And it was so sad to discover. And it is, yeah, it was this switch to, I don't want to lie anymore. I don't care how significant it is global, or it is just a tiny lie that it is no significance, but I don't want to lie anymore. And it was a very complicated moment in my family, of course, because who are the people that I thought that I am constantly available slave? The most closed ones, you know, mama, papa, sister, friends. And now I need to teach them that I am not the person that I teached you to see me as, you know. I am I am I am your son, but I'm not your slave. I am your brother, but I'm not your slave. And when I say no to you, when you need help, it's an act of love and not the act of, you know, breaking a loyalty or something, you know. When I'm honest with you, it's an act of love. Even if you think that it is violent from me, you know, to say no, because you need help, you need this, you need this, you know. So I saw like, wow, we people, we really don't know what separation means. Separation from family, separation from mother, separation from, you know, from family. Because without this separation, the real, your own life can't start. And this separation should happen, and it should be, I can say it should be done by you. It should be done consciously, because otherwise it will not happen. You should break these bonds. Not the break, but to say that I was little, yes, I was a child, and you are my mother, but now we are just two people. Yes, factually, I'm your son. But now I'm a grown-up man, and you are a grown-up woman. And let's try to respect each other and don't lie. You don't lie to me when you say, I have an expectations, and they are nice, and they are big, and they are, you know, sparkling. You are honest, and I am honest with you when I am saying that what I feel is this: to be psychologically healthy human being is to be the embodiment of the total crash of the expectations of your mother. To embody total, you know, collapse of expectations of your mother, you know. And it is, yeah, kind of scary for you. And it is more scary for her. But it is worth talking about. It is worth your, you know, your trial to make this conscious, because I started my experiment and I just started to say no when I feel no. But people didn't know that I'm experimenting. They are just see that, oh, he became isolated. He became selfish as hell, you know. He became shameless. He became egoistic. He became strange. He's laughing differently. He's laughing not like he laughed. Ha 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 ha. He's laughing like he he is spooky. And this has to do, maybe it's her. It's her influence. He started to be with her, and it's her made him like this, you know, very isolated, very freaky. But it isn't. So I thought that it was my mistake, that I hadn't informed my family and friends that, guys, I'm experimenting. Excuse me. I can be unexpected. I can be very I don't know, mean, unexpectedly mean. But I want you guys to know that it's because I try not to lie to you anymore. I try to be honest. And uh, I'm thanking you for your patience and da 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 da, you know. It's like I was sick and now I need to go through some processes and they should have patience, you know. So, and then later I did it, at least with my mother. We met 2 or 3 times and just for this, I I told that I need to talk with you because I see that you have a lot of I don't know, resentments or something to me, and this triggers some fear in me. Oh, I said no to her, so I should now compensate it somehow, and you know, the tension, this tension, and to release it, it is so significant. So, and she lives in the other country, and she comes to Ukraine for a week or month each year, and yeah, and even when she comes to Ukraine, she doesn't come to my house because it's forbidden, because it's 1949 says no. My sensitivity doesn't allow anyone into our house, our sanctuary. Yeah, we can meet anywhere else, but to house no. But anyway, I mean, we meet for a very short amount of times with my mother. But in these hours, we not only hug each other and eat together, but we also talked about why am I like this? And this is, and that it is honestly an act of love, not the act of ignoring or something. It's no intention, no intent, no background thoughts or manipulations. It's just I want to stop lying because I'm disgusting to myself when I see myself lying. Yeah. And I guess that this is actually it. I think it should be a marker of the human being that entered the experiment. It's not a human being that says, "Oh, right now I'm so satisfied, and I'm only satisfied, and it's also okay, and so I want only good projections, and da 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 da, and oh, experiment, human design, it's so exciting, da 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 da." I am very suspicious for this kind of people. And when I see someone that says, "Oh my God, I'm actually ashamed to share this with you, but what I see is that I'm constantly lying. Oh my God," you know, I'm just, and I know that it is not like I am guilty and I should punish myself. Yeah, I know, but I can't do anything with this. I try, but, and ideally is that they learn to start laughing at this. Laughing at this. I was learning to laugh at myself when I suddenly felt like I'm just throwing out. I'm just speak, da 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 da, and then I saw that it was a person with gate 8, with my bridge. So everything that I have under the throat just found the exit and wanted to, you know, now I can express my identity. Yeah, and it's not like it's a thought. It's not like it's a thought. It's just when this kind of person is nearby, when it appears in my aura, it's a huge pressure. If I know that there's this kind of person, then it's a huge pressure anyway, but I just try to hold it. You know, it's like I ate something wrong and I need to throw out, but I just, because I see the second before, I already see that it is unnecessary talking. It is unnecessary. It is not me. It is not me. I don't want to say this. I don't want to talk about this. And I don't want to talk now. It is not the moment. So it is so ridiculously funny. And it should be funny. Experiment should be funny. It is not funny only if you still think that the guilt is a real thing. But if you really somehow grasped this, if you really got the joke that this is no choice game, you know, not no responsibility, but it's a helper's responsibility, it's a no choice, then you can start laughing. You can start having fun, fun with failing, you know. It was a huge fun for me a couple of days before when I made an analysis for one woman. And it has nothing to do with the woman herself, and with analysis, but it has to do with the moment when the process in me somehow started. And the hand pushed the record button, you know? Because before, it was like 1.5 months. I had the free time. I had all the formulas. I had all the presentation. I had everything. And I was ready. But there was no energy, you know? Energy didn't initiate it from the inside, you know? And it was a shock for me the day before yesterday, when it finally happened. And my mind is like, what? Why is this right now happening by itself? And so easy, funny, with no hurry, with no something like, I need to transmit something specific, I need to save the life, or I need to da-da-da-da-da, you know? But I was starting this analysis once or twice, you know? Once I just started to speak and I felt I didn't like what I hear, and I stopped. And the second time, a week later, I also started. And I made a session, but I didn't like it. So I didn't send it to her, you know? Because I hear that this is a mind transmitting information. And I don't like this. Because this should not be the mind transmitting information. For me, to be satisfying for me, this should be communication between two people. Personal communication between me, real me, not as some analyst, not some human design system, but me, my experience with the other that I heard. I felt them. I felt their voice. I felt that they are also, in some areas, they are suffering. And they are suffering like me, or like I did. And they are suffering predictably, and they are suffering unnecessarily. And I feel empowered because I know the details that can really make this person give them something that will trigger the deepest breathing out in their life, you know? You are unemotional. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is one of the biggest, deepest breathe outs of my life. When I understood that I'm unemotional. Oh my God. All these dramas, all this nervousness, all these, you know, do you have this phrase that like Shakespeare, I think it said, to make the elephant out of the fly.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, all these dramas, all these screamings. When I thought that I am inadequate, really, I am a psycho, I should be isolated somewhere, you know. It was not my anger. It was not my energy. It was not my thing. It has nothing to do with me. It has to do with me recognizing that this is what's happening. This is what the energy of this wave of this person does with me right now. And that this doesn't go anywhere. I should stop. It's like a week ago, I made the discovery that I actually was able to monologue myself out of transference. Really, it is a bloody joke. My partner is a guilt motivation.
Mm-hmm.
I am a hope motivation. I cannot tell you how much joke is this. Black joke. This is one of the things why it is either awareness or death. Because if I'm not aware of these mechanical things and what they do to me, I was just suicidal. Suicidal. Guilt is suicidal. And this, I even written it down for myself that, wow, it was amazing. Some dramatic scandal is almost started. It didn't start it, but I already felt that I fell into state of guilt physically. Well, it's not what we think as guilt, but it is a state. And the guilt is just a keyword for this, you know? Inner feeling that I'm bad. I need to fix. I need to change. The way I am is not, I don't know, is not unfixable, is not perfect in a good and bad way. And I just stopped and I said, I will go have a cup of coffee. And I walked out of our flat, and we live at the 6th floor. And while I was walking by the stairs and walking out in the street, it was already a huge relief. Breathe out, you know, energetically. First, yeah, you know, breathing. Yeah, no, first separating, you know, out of the aura. Second, breathing. Just breathe and just Sasha, just realize that you are just you. You are just a separate person, not a husband, not anything, not anything, you know, you're just you. And then mentally, please, Sasha, mentally realize that now you feel that you physically fell into state of guilt. And it has nothing to do with you. And the correct state, physical state, not only drive for the thought, which motivation is, but the consequence of the correct or incorrect motivation, you know, physical, natural for you is different. For you, it is about hope. It is about it. Nothing is to be fixed. Nothing is to be, you know, fear of or something. No problem. Problem does not exist. Right now you see it, and right now you can try to laugh at it. To laugh at yourself, seeing yourself helpless, you know, and to laugh at her, seeing her helpless, you know, emotional, irrational, chaotic, triple split projector, you know. Also perfect with all the complexities, and to laugh at this situation. And I was monologuing for 10 minutes, and I felt it was very unexpected. but I felt that I am physically feel dynamic. I'm physically feel happy. Like I don't know, maybe it was like uh, when you have a ball and you throw it on the floor, it jumps back, you know, but it may jump back higher, you know. So it was this danger of scandal, you know, drama. But in the last moment, we're like on the car, like, shoo. And it was this specific moment, like, whoa, I could die, but I didn't die. And in the body, it was the very interesting sensations like lightness and kind of happiness in the body. And it was shocking for me. It was the first time when I really, uh, really talked myself out of being in transference. It was amazing. I don't know how this happened, but it was really cool because this kind of happiness, yeah, well, I don't feel much often.
Yeah. And you're really describing it so beautifully and vividly. Especially this super important about lying, that you had enough of it. But actually, do you know that we lie more than 100 times a day? And it's not even possible not to lie. Like, for instance, somebody asks you, how are you? And you say, I'm good, but you have a slight headache, for instance. So you're kind of not telling them the entire truth. And this, I know exactly what you mean, but in general, that's what psychologists say, that we're kind of lying all the time, because otherwise you go nuts if you have to like, they're automatic lies. You don't even realize you're doing it. But I see exactly what you mean, by being authentic and being bowing under outer authorities. And what you mentioned about the family, and Ra also said it many times, you think you're enlightened, go back for the holidays to your family, you know, or something like that. But it's so true. It's so true that especially
Excuse me, it wasn't Ra. It was some Ramdas or someone. Ra maybe
yeah,
told in some other way, but
yeah,
exactly
yeah.
your quote, it was some different person.
Yeah, that's why I said it's something like that. But indeed, this is from our family and our parents. We get the first conditioning when we're not even aware of the self, because the self really gets born around the age of 7. And so there is absolutely no how do you call it, a stiff, no, you take everything so literal when you're little. And this is really the, also we know from human design that you get a hardwired conditioning from your mom already when you're in the womb, and it's a conditioning, you cannot even get rid of it because it's hardwired in you. But if we skip that one, which is innate conditioning in a way, also what we get from our family, and this is also what you spoke the previous time when we met in your when you were talking about families, that we're all born in 99% of the time in dysfunctional pentas. So lying kind of becomes your second nature. And if we put next to that the non-emotionality and wanting to spare yourself the boat rocking and too much emotional discomfort, then yeah, you can really live some other life, some other person's life. And that's the first thing which human design gives you, is giving your life back, right?
Mhm.
And you're
And
an
then
actor, actually. So it's so interesting what you're saying, because you know, your job is to actually impersonify, or that's the word, different characters.
it's a projection.
It's a projection.
It's a projection. I think that uh, I actually work as an actor a very little amount of time, especially now, because I just have very little time. But when the person, uh, I don't know, works as an actor, or I don't know, commits its time to an actor job, actor play, each of them do something different. Each of them do something of themselves. I am very surprised when I hear people say, "Oh, you're an actor. You are ta da 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 da." Know what this is? I don't know what being actor is. If you will ask me, maybe I would say I don't know because I know or not. But I would say that I'm just I just like to play. The state of play is a state of uh, some kind of, I don't know, higher vibrations, you know. No, you know, not guilt, not shame, not the state of play. It's you know, mm, no judgment, just spontaneous creativity. I like to play only with the people that I love. When I have finished the university in Kiev, I hated all the theaters in Kiev. They are really was yeah, not good as for me, except only one in which I'm working now. And only because of people, only because of the person that created this theater. It was, yeah, it is sad to say, but this person died a month ago.
Mm.
And it was a great man, brilliant man, Oleksandr Kryzhanovsky. And he was a 5-1 clarion, uh, emotional manifesting generator. And he had his issues, had his nuances, but he was this gate 57, you know, this very, very attuned listening to the scene, listening to what happens right now, listening and hearing the lies instantaneously, hearing 1 gram of lies instantaneously. And so he not only was a great director and teacher, but also he was a great person in terms of hearing that he somehow knew that he cannot force us to play what we don't want to play, you know? He cannot force anything. He somehow knew that. He felt that. He saw that each actor is just a life, living force, you know? And you can offer them something. You should offer them something. You should trigger them in some way, you know? Give them some tasks, give them some material, some texts, and they will do what they will do. You should just a little bit, I don't know, stimulate them somehow. And they will do what they will do, you know? And he would sit and listen to the scene and hear, you know, this is a very good one. And here it was a lie. Here it was something different. So It was a man that really made a theater that is different. And he called it a new theater on Pechersk. Pechersk is the area of the city, and it called it new theater, you know?
Yeah.
So it was like, it really a theater of theater created by the Clarion, by the 5-1. And it was the only place and the only collective that I fell in love with. And I'm still working with them, only because it is the environment of love, environment of non-violence, you know? Only because of this. If there were not be such theater and such a collective, I wouldn't be an actor. Because it's just, I watch performances and they are so superficial, you know? I don't know what is this. Is this psychiatric channels that want to work for something higher, you know? Or is this my second color that wants to go beyond just facts, just scientific, just some superficial, but to something bigger answers, bigger, deeper, you know? So only because of these people, I am there. I'm following love, really. I discovered this phenomenon. I'm following the people that I feel as a environment of love. And everything else happens as a consequence. We make performances, or we make something else, or we are in the theater, or we are in some other stuff. Yeah, like this. But it is interesting to hear that you or some people say, oh, you're an actor, you da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, it's,
You know?
I just wanted to make, the comparison because you were talking about, Julia, we're talking about meeting human design and
Hello, Julia. Excuse me for not meeting you.
Hello, hello.
about actually Alex saying, and I wanted to go back to that, Alex, because I find it so nice that you actually informed people around you that you're experimenting, because I find it
I
really,
thought that responding is enough,
yeah,
you know? I don't need to inform anyone. And so Alok said to me, and Ra said that you don't have to inform anyone, you know? But through my experience, I discovered that people that are in my circle, they need to understand that what is happening, you know? That this is not personal. This is not to offend you. This is to stop, yeah, to stop lying, to stop being dishonest with you.
yeah, I find
Excuse
it
me.
such a gentle way to deal with people and so respectful, actually. Because honestly, I was super disrespectful in this respect. I just started experimenting and I didn't care
Me
about
too.
anybody else. It was like I just stop, I shut up, and I don't say a word. And we were living in Holland then with my husband, and his mom was like, "What's happening to Veronica? Why did she suddenly stop talking?" and stuff like that. And now that I think about it, it's another way of attracting attention. So it's really crazy. But I really find it a very good example and really respectful to people, to at least to people who matter and are close, to tell them.
And can you imagine, in my case, it is also a bit dramatic because I have this, um, yeah, red unconscious channel 2551. I'm not aware of how shocking I can be when I am myself. When I am just suddenly this super ego man, you know, doing nothing. saying nothing, caring about nothing, you know, just living and watching and suddenly having this different perspective, different way. And I didn't know how really shocking it can be, you know. It's unpleasant when you discover that you unconsciously shock people. Yeah, it can be good if you are making a human design analysis, if you have your hammer to crack their minds. But if you're living your experiment and you did not inform to your closed ones, well, and I started to get this feedback, you know, about my red channel of initiation. Oh, you're so egoistic. You're so selfish. You're so da 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 da. And I was like, what? I'm just want to be kind of in balance, you know? I want to balance stuff so it would not go out of proportion, out of balance, you know? I'm just a normal person, you know? What I'm aware of is my Sun Earth, you know, gate 15, love of humanity. Well, I feel like I'm normal. The only black channel I have is 515. What I think I am is just, I'm normal. I'm okay. I'm not an egoist. I'm just kind of, yeah. I'm just trying to be a balance, not in extremes, a balance. And you say that you're selfish, and I'm like, what? Surprise.
So actually, now that also Julia joined, and you both guys are with defined ego, and I'm interested to ask you, how does it feel when you're being challenged all the time by others? When you pump their ego up and they're like, you know, they want to challenge with you, compete with you. Do you really realize it, that it's because of you coming in their aura, or you're just oblivious to it?
Julia?
Julia, you're muted.
You're muted.
When you talk about competition, I think it's more of Oleksandr as he's holding the 51. Yeah, mine is unconscious in its 40s, so it's different.
Yeah.
I can say that it is just a funny moment to observe not only others but myself. You know, it's a red channel. I'm not aware of how suddenly competing I can become. But when I suddenly see it, it's strange. It's like you think, why am I comparing myself to this person at all? Why am I wanna be ahead? Why am I wanna be faster? Why? What is this? Is this insane? Why am I like this? And well, I haven't had such an clear example of people shocking me. Yes, they become more kind of competitive, but it is I wouldn't say that it is a powerful thing in my experience. But I could say that they somehow see me as a moral authority.
What do you mean?
No, I mean, when you are in the room and the second person comes in the room and you suddenly stop cursing, you know, you stop cursing. You feel ashamed to curse when this person is around, you know. It's like, I don't know. There is this thing, definitely.
Of trying to be a better person and not curse? Is that what you mean?
Yes, yes, not only a better person, but to not be like bad person, you know, some
Ah.
unethical or something, you know. It's like some moral policeman is there and you don't want them to, well, not to punish you, but to look at you like, you know, why are you allowing yourself such behavior? Though I never said anything like this. I never judged, oh, you're cursing, it's bad. No, it's just I am present and the people are like, oh, fuck, fuck, fuck. Oh, Alexander, you're here. I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Mhm.
You know, it's very, very interesting and funny to watch.
And you think it's from the defined ego?
I think it's 21, well, 2551, you know.
No, it can
I am
very well be from the defined ego, because indeed people want to prove and improve and become better and, you know, be smarter and nicer and this and that. And in the presence of an ego, they can be like wanting to be better and pretending to be better. Maybe.
I am a little bit uh I don't have clarity in terms of your question, you know. I'm a little bit it's not like I have good to the point examples. I have what I can say is that I, as an ego defined person, uh, I was born in the family of open egos. And I'm very well aware of what is de-evaluating is, you know, when you when you don't consider things worthy, you know, your child suddenly you know, cooked a soup, you know, and you say, okay, and the child says, well, I cooked a soup, look, and you say, oh, well, great. And you said, well, you know, I took carrots, I took onions, and I took these spices, and it was like this, and da 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 da. It is something. It is a thing. And the person says, oh, well, great. Yesterday I also took some carrots and da 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 da. So they don't feel this like something that is have some worthiness in this, you know. And this under evaluating, it is a thing that I know very well from my family. And now in my penta, we both, the three of us have a defined ego.
Ah,
They both have the channel of surrender, this cold-blooded one, and I have initiation, you know. And we do very well together in terms of will. Yes, there is a conflict of will all the time, but we are okay with this, you know.
it's also interesting. We started our story with you that your partner brought you to human design, but she herself says about herself that she's not experimenting. And only from time to time gives an ear here and there. And actually, Julia's topic during the festival is about living with her partner, who is also not so much into human design. And
I would say very much not into human design.
yeah. So I also have such a partner, and it's the three of us here, you know. Uh, yeah. So I really would like to hear what changed in a way for you. And okay, one thing is this about knowing the information, for instance, for not sleeping together or this and that. And your partners, how did they take it, and that you are radically following your experiments? And we were talking with Julia actually yesterday about it, and we were like both, they're so supportive, of us, but at the same time, they a little bit think that we're, at least my thinks I'm a little bit cuckoo. But it's okay, it's all right.
Why for the interview, is because we went to sign the contract for the new house. So I was obviously spending time with trying to discover what's happening above the room, what's happening on the side of the room. And these people look at me like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Why is this even important? And two doors in the room. I'm caves. It's not really good for me, and it's incredible just to watch people's reaction. People that are not understanding it, including first of all my own partner. Yeah, he really thinks I'm too sensitive. I'm too crazy. I'm following rules that I have to. And he really doesn't get this essence, of like, you don't understand. It's not because I felt so. It's like I always felt it. Now I'm allowed to be myself. That's where it's really coming from, because everything that is, and in PHS for me especially, because now in my process, in my experiment, I'm exactly in this cognitive architecture experiment. And actually, I lately even started questioning even my tone, because 11 minutes before my time that I got, there's a different tone. And from experimenting with this and with that, I think that actually I am born 11 minutes before. And if I wouldn't experiment with this, I would never ever notice this. And the more I start allowing this other tone to be embodied through me, I started noticing that my reactions also started changing, and I start being more and more clear with every path. But the good side, the positive side is that I don't really expect my partner to receive every part of me. Yeah. And I'm also in surrender that he will never ever be going into human design, because he has his own systems and his own techniques that he's been practicing for so many years. And in the end, it doesn't matter. He thinks I'm crazy, I'm alien, I'm weird. He says I'm creature and all other things. Yeah. But it's like, okay, there are other things that we're aligned, and they make us a couple, and those things, they are anyway more important. So in this case, I think it's my case like this.
Is he a projector?
Oh, he's a manifesting generator with only 2 centers open.
So you are anyway a totally different planet for him.
Yeah,
With human design or without, it is
I'm a projector.
like in my case.
Yeah, it's like this. So it's totally fine. It's totally fine. The thing is how we approach the other. Yeah, it's not about them. It's about us in the end. And I know what it is to be trying to make the other follow your rule. I never forget when in 2000 something I went to India for the first time, and I came back complete vegetarian. I lived in the ashram. I got initiated into vegetarian environment. My whole being very much responded to it. I came back, and everybody who would eat meat in my aura, I would give them lecture. I would tell them stop. All of this is like classic. Yeah, all this classic thing. And after sometimes I'm like, wait a second, like those guys up north, if they wouldn't eat meat, they would all die. So some people have the genes, and I like logically understood that what I'm doing is basically I'm losing friends, and I was like, why do I even care what they put in their own body? So I had this like flash of realization, and through that situation, I started noticing the pattern also in other spheres of life. And this starts being more and more. And human design is, in the end, the system that literally, it's not just about me, me, me. In my case, as a projector, I feel others, and I feel that let them do what they do. You know, your freedom, the level of your freedom in life is equal to the level of freedom you allow the other. That's how I understand the freedom.
It
So
is very much resonating to me being a second line person. I'm and Sun in the gate of extremes. I'm a humanitarian, democratic, extremely, you know. What I want from my partner is only one thing. Just to do what she wants, to be what she is, you know. And even in this, yeah, sometimes just transit connects her energy to the throat, and there is no choice. She's just like,
yeah, you just wait until it's passing. Veronica, how about, by the way, yeah, because it's also a question to you, yeah, and your partner not really into.
No, so I just wanted to add that with you is the opposite situation because Alex's partner is a projector.
Yeah.
Yeah. With my situation, it's supposed to be the easiest because we're both generators. He's emotional. And yeah, at the beginning, I was so infatuated with human design. And of course, like I was listening to all these Ra and neutrino radio or whatever radios and everything. So my partner couldn't help but listen together, you know, we're in the same space. But he really didn't like when I told him that he's emotional and that for instance, at this moment, I cannot take this and I have to retrieve and go in the other room or something like that. And he really hated that because he was so used to me, exactly as Alex said, you know, your family and your closed ones, they're so used to you being something. And then you totally change. And in my case, I became like so radical. I was like, now I know maybe it's not radical. I just went into a complete extreme. It totally, I was I was the super slave for everybody, you know, with love because I'm a 5-1. So, and I'm a guilt, motivation guilt. So I was doing things for people all the time and not even asking if they want and the whole thing. So suddenly this change of me like totally putting a break on that. And like for me, Alex, I was just telling the other day, Julia, when I found out when I was not emotional on the train station in Amsterdam, but this was such a pivotal moment in my life. It was so much trash came out of me. It was like the river completely washed away all this garbage which was inside of me. So my partner saw all of this, and also my friends and who stayed, um, because I stopped looking for anybody, and yeah, so not many people stayed, but they saw this change. And so my partner, in a way, he was shocked. And who is this person? How come she's not putting herself last anymore? But on the other hand, he could see this relief in me and pain going away because I also had complicated relationships with my parents and my mother is emotional. Da da da. So he really saw and that it's good for me. It's healthy for me. And Although sometimes, he's like, oh, so sick of my human design. And because it's not only experimenting with human design, but I'm also now, that's my life. My entire life is human design, and this is what I work. So he came to terms and accepted. And I'm so lucky with him that he just is okay with all these changes he's seeing, and just allowing me to be who I am. So yeah, that's my story.
So
In my
beautiful.
case, it is specifically interesting because I think sometime I will maybe not write a book, but make some session or a lecture, which I will call Me and Daria, because we are so different and there is so much stuff and nuances behind it. And um, as you said, your partner came to terms with it and kind of, yeah, but my partner has her psychological practice, well, not the traditional way, but she has her circle of people with which she studied the whole courses of NLP.
Oh, that's interesting.
And it is a very correct for her. Not only some NLP, but also the people, a projector, the people, and it is a 100% correct people for her. And I see the changes through the years and how she practices some tools that they try to use. And mm, the changes are good. But when I would have some problem or some stuckness or some resolved question, I would maybe say, "Oh, how should I deal with this?" And she would say, "Go to this person, which is our NLP teacher. Just try, just try." And I had resistance from the very beginning. Just nah, 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 and
Until
she, what?
and until now, you never went.
I will tell. And
Okay.
she didn't stop. She haven't stopped until she beated me for this. And I said, "Oh, well, yes. All right, why not?" So there is no response, but I'm aware that there is energy doesn't go there. But also I'm aware that this person, this teacher, is really good. And I know this woman. She's really, really good. And I come there to this course, the first lowest level. And they ask, "What request do you have?" And I say, honestly, I don't have any. And actually, I'm there because my wife told me to come. And da 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 da. But well, let's wait and see. Maybe something will happen. And through the whole day, I feel like I'm very, very hard. My weight is tons, I'm like disempowered. And in some break, there was a little incident with some of the teachers. So that made me just went away, I paid the money, but I don't care. I'm just stop and I go away. And I felt so bad this day in the evening, in the night, and even in the morning when I woke up next day. I felt, yeah, I can call it transference. I can call it many things, but it's definitely suicidal.
Wow, like that level.
This state that,
Wow.
yeah, you people are good at what you do. You guys, young people, are good at learning these tools, but the essence is not in doing good stuff. The essence for each of us is to be happy. To be happy. And when I teach and when I come to this course and try to learn these amazing tools, I feel unhappy. I feel bad. I don't know. I don't need to know why. I just know that with some things, I feel really empowered. And with some things and people and places, I feel disempowered. So guys, excuse me, I cannot go on. I will not come today. And yeah, excuse me. Because it's this, and I see that it's just there is a different stuff for different people. For me, with my design, with me being a vessel of love, with me being a hope, motivation, and da 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 da, human design is a nectar, is a nectar. And for her, I see physical resistance. When I start to speak about some gate or channel, suddenly she, in a moment, she starts to yawn, you know? It's physical. It's physical, you know? Sometimes some woman or man listens to you and it comes into them like a glass of water, you know, without resistance. And sometimes they are just, it doesn't matter if it is an open mind or open something else or define something else. It doesn't matter. It just don't come there, you know? And it is not bad because she has some her stuff and she use it and it's nice. Though I feel generalizations there and, you know, of course, attempts to control, you know, like in every reading, I say, please understand, uh, you cannot use human design for controlling life better, which you may want, you know, because with tools, we want to use them, you know, but this is a tool for absolutely opposite thing. You cannot use it to control life better. It's a wrong approach. But for the first time when people come, of course, conditioned mind, it wants, especially left, you know, it wants, you know, conquer this plane, conquer the reality, control, da 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 da. So I see that there are things that come easy to her, and that are her things, you know. She has her tools to fix, you know, to with her guilt motivation and everything else, you know. And I have like we are both therapists, you know, but from very different approaches. Her approach is like psychology, more abstract way, you know, sensing circuit, da 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 da. And me, not an abstract, not a fixing guilt and da 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 da, but totally different logic and hope, you know. Human design doesn't tell you what to do. It tells you where to look to see that you are okay. Well, I don't say maybe you can be sick. Yeah, maybe you can have poor nutrition. Maybe you can have a sick environment, but inside you can experiment and see that these things that you consider your flaws are actually your unique facets, and to celebrate them.
So we talked about the partnership, but I want to check one more thing before we finish, before we bring this to a close, and it is the family aspect. You have a child and she's 3, right? Almost 4, maybe. So it's with you, it's very fresh when it was the relationship and then when the Penta came in power. What changed? And how did you perceive it? How did you feel it? And how do you use human design for raising your child? Helping you with it.
It is an amazing question. And actually, you say that we were fresh, but it is not so, because we met 10 years ago, you know, so it's actually very, you can see it very clear if you look in my life cycles with me together, you know. I can see where is the point where my life is changed and I came to this kind of environment, and in this kind of environment, human environment, I met her, and then in this point of life, it was a start of relationship, and it was all coming to this moment when this baby comes. But baby came after, I guess, 7 years of living together. And we knew each other before we started living together for 4 years. So it's not like fast. No, it's not fast. Yeah, it's okay, actually. Not too long, not too fast. But the daughter came, I don't know if I told you this or not. The daughter came right before my next Jupiter cycle started, Jupiter return. And it was my shock in terms of cycles, because when Daria was pregnant, I suddenly heard Alok saying something about Jupiter returns and da-da-da, and I just played with this and looked, and I was shocked because I see that this is the moment where baby will be born, and this is the start of my new 12-year cycle, and the Sun Earth of this Jupiter return is 3740, you know. Fifth line, anti-traditional femininess, you know, or heretical community, you know. And I was shocked that, and if I look at, I looked at this chart of the cycle, and it was shockingly precise, which is the words that I can say often in human design, you know. But the experience with Penta is a very specific thing. It's like you have the stages of deconditioning, you know. You gained some experience of you and the other. Then you understand, oh, there is also transit conditioning. Fuck. I thought it was me just running like a crazy, but it was the Neptune in gate 38 to my 28, and the channel of struggle pushed me, you know. And then there is another level, and then there is another, and one of the levels is recognizing that there is a penta. And for me, it's a critical, because I have 2 penta channels. I'm a penta slave, you know, potential. Very, very good, very good, very good at potentially losing myself in pentas. Very good at, when I became aware of this, hating pentas, you know, because it's so unpleasant to going back to aloneness and realizing that I don't remember myself. I know that I know myself, but right now I need to have some effort to remember myself, because for the last, I don't know, week, I was backbone of this little child, you know, and this woman, you know, their backbone. 214, you know, I'm a very, I can be very good penta horse, you know, this backbone of yeah, material direction. I should this, I should that, and the differentiated perspective, differentiated process, differentiated awareness is impossible. It is just impossible. And only when you are consciously take yourself out and make this effort to remember yourself, then you see, oh my God, I'm totally losing myself. So it takes, first, it's a shock. Second, it's a realization that I am disappearing. I'm disappearing. I become the part of something that is not I, that is, well, we maybe, we, or the part of something. There is no me, and this is scary. And then you understand that, fuck, this is a mechanic. This is a choiceless stuff. So I should just see what works. See the keys that work to not be that frustrated with being in penta and da 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 da. And also, it is very funny because for in our penta there is a projector. When there is a projector and there is 3 people, it's always a very ridiculously funny story, you know. So when we are 3, the daughter wants to be with her, and the daughter wants to speak with her and have the process with her, and the daughter always says, Papa, don't say anything.
How old
Papa.
is
She will be 3 by the 3rd of January.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. You'll start establishing a proper connection after she finishes the first cycle. You know that, right?
Well, and she just says she's a cross of individualism. She's actually resisting penta. And she says, Papa, don't talk. Or so if I'm present with them, I feel enormously ridiculous idiot, because there are some stuff that I think I should help her with. But when I start to do it, it is untimely, or it is just unneeded, or it is just unnecessary. So I am present with them, and I am not I'm not totally myself, if you know what I mean. And I am not needed, you know. What needed is to provide the foundation, material direction, you know. And of course, when we are together with daughter, me and her, it's perfect. You know, daughter does her stuff, I do my stuff, and sometimes we do something together. But when the daughter is with her, it is always together process. She knows that the daughter knows that she can have mother's attention, the very personal projector attention that she can't have from father. And if mother is present, she she's better. she dominates her consciousness, you know. Oh, I want to be with mama, I want to be with da da da. Not only because it's mama, but because it's this personal attention. And if I'm interfering, she resists. She says, Papa, go away, you know. So we just kind of already used to this format that we just separate. we communicate one-on-one only when the daughter is sleeping, you know, in the daytime. And all the other time, it's either she works as a mama one-on-one with the child, or I work with the child, you know? Well, work, I mean, babysitting, being together, you know? But there was some frustration from her side that, oh, we don't go somewhere like a family, when, you know, we have a lack in our penta in this channel of discovery. And oh, we don't da. And I am very absolutely not a fan of going together somewhere. I'm absolute alien to everything that is connected to family. Really, I feel very alien. Very, 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 I want to say word very 100 times. You know, so I'm still experimenting with the ways with the keys with which I can balance this, so that I am dealing with Penta, but it doesn't, I don't know, it is not so toxic for my spirit, you know. So I could also eventually laugh at what is happening, not only get irritated or something else, you know.
Yeah. And this is so important, actually. We're now just before the Christmas holidays, and this interview is going to be streamed also at the beginning of January, which is just the end of the yearly cycle, where we spend so much time indeed with the family. But guys, you see, there is this conditioning coming from our families, but we don't have to agree. If you don't feel well, you can say no. That's, as Alex said, with all the love you have, and it's the best for every side, because if you don't want to be there, and we're exactly at the verge, you know, and it's so traditional, we have to be together on Christmas. Okay, but maybe I don't feel like. And that's something great that I find about our partners in this respect, is that they can, or at least mine can, respect that. And okay, we don't have to be like, you know, everybody else doing the Christmas stuff. You know, let's do whatever each wants to. And in my penta, we're like 3 individuals, and also our crosses are individual. So it's so strange sometimes to my extended family, to my parents. They're like, but you guys don't do it like all the families. Yeah, because we're not like all the families, we're different. So that's the beauty of human design, that alone and together with others, we can still find the way to be helplessly okay with who we are and with who the others are. So
Yeah, I wish everyone would receive this printout at least, yeah, with short instructions, and then so many things would not be necessary to deal with.
By the way, Veronica, Julia, congratulations with this winter solstice.
Yay.
It's the first, and the second, we also have our party today on my half birthday. Today is the sun in the second line of gate 10, the natural, you know, of self-love or self-hate, you know, and the earth is in my line, second line of gate 15.
That's what you consider your half birthday. Basically, your Earth birthday. I actually
Yeah.
who celebrate their design sun birthday as well. And
I celebrate every transit of Vessel of Love because I feel so much home in this frequency.
I wanted to ask you because I never heard about the Jupiter return 12-year cycle. And how do you calculate it?
When I heard that such thing exists, it was um, unexpectedly. It was some session of The Program Is Not Your Life when Alok told, oh, I have some trouble with my daughter and da-da-da, I should look at her Jupiter return. And uh, I said, oh, I will try look for myself, you know? And I have looked and I was shocked. And then Alok told me, we communicated somehow, and I said, oh, Alok, I thank you that you mentioned this Jupiter return, because it's super revealing and super precise. And he said, oh, and where do you make the chart? Because MMI doesn't make it. And I say, I made it on geneticmatrix.com. And if you want, I can make one for you. And he said, yeah, make one for me and one for my daughter. Da, 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 da. So it was just some moment in my process really that had to do with cycles, really. Some moment where cycles became somehow a topic. And yeah, I was looking at my Saturn return and I already used to it, you know. But then I see, aha, the family. Oh my God, the family starts when the baby comes. Everything else is just blah, 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 you know, when baby makes family. And yeah, I will not go into nuances, but then I have looked into the chart of the Jupiter return that ended, you know, the previous 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it was amazing because it started exactly on the point when I became a student of eurythmy, anthroposophical education. And in this group was another student, Daria, my wife, you know. So 12 years ago, I met her, and 12 years after, our baby born, you know. It's like some previous is preparation for the next. And you don't know to which exactly, but it's like one of the ways to see that the movie is already shot, you know. And this previous cycle was, guess which cross? The Vessel of Love, 1-3, investigating and experimenting with the self, the authenticity, the unique extreme of being human, you know. And yeah, in 4 years, Daria struck me with human design. And the next year, she started to live with me in my apartment. And Saturn return, and this Saturn return kind of made this human design, take it radical, Sasha. Right now, it's your way, and you may take it radical or just forget it, you know. Saturn return, you know, this limitation, as fixed challenges, fixed things that appear suddenly in your life. Yeah, I guess I told too much.
No, but the Jupiter or any other planet return, you can just check on the Just Now chart and you see if they're in the same gate as when you were born, then they're on return. Otherwise, they're not. It's a simple.
Yeah, but to see the chart of return.
Ah,
Exactly.
yeah,
but-
that's different. That's different. Yeah,
To
yeah,
see the cross, the nodes, the definition,
yeah, yeah.
and to read the lines, of the cross. For me, it was mind-blowing.
Wow. It was an amazing journey, this conversation. We went through the individual and through the couple and came to the penta to come back to the most important thing, and it is individuation and differentiation, because human design is about yourself, is about us, me, myself, and I. And when you accept that to the fullest, you are ready only then to really accept the other and the world as it is, I guess, and be okay with it and let go from trying to control everything and just be the passenger with no agenda and in the flow, right?
And this brings a very special kind of love inside of you. Very special state of very special love. Just yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish this to everyone.
And that's not the
Yeah.
egoistic love. It's totally different. And I'm so glad to, honestly, when I first met human design, I met this woman who brought human design in my life. And my first thought when I met this woman was like, she's so strong. There is something in those eyes that is watching me, and it is something I cannot explain. And I had all my education. I was a manager. I did HR. So I had a lot of experience with people, and this was something I never met. Later, I realized that those eyes were the eyes of the surrendered passenger, and they were so strong, and she was so centered in herself. And I really find this in people who I meet in my life, a lot of them in human design. And I sense that in you, Alex. I sense that in you, Julia. And I'm so grateful that you're on my path and that we can share this frequency with all our viewers.
Excuse
love-
me, the life knocks at the door. I need to put my daughter to sleep.
Yes.
Just as we are
Mhm.
saying bye and spreading the gratitude, I guess. So yeah.
Hello, hello. I find this amazing because again, it shows us we're helpless. Life knocks on the door and it is what
Yeah,
it is.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you
Thank
too.
you.
And thank you for those watching us and sharing with us this journey for the Human Design Rave Festival 2024. Bye for now.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Get your tickets today. See you soon.